Good morning to all the participants who have joined for this webinar. Uh, Good morning, Rohita. Uh, it's my indeed a privilege to introduce to you our speaker today, Ms. Rohita Mishra. She is an officer of Indian Railway Account Services of 2001 batch, and she is currently serving as General Manager Finance and Accounts Projects at CRIS, New Delhi. Uh, she is a very distinguished civil servant and has given her services across Indian Railways and also to other ministries like Ministry of External Affairs. And she brings a rare blend of financial expertise, policy insight, digital leadership, and institutional experience of today's webinar, especially the topic, the TAMS, Traffic Accounts Management System, the digital edge in traffic accounting. So, Ms. Mishra has been on the forefront of Indian Railway digital transformation. In her current role, especially, she has led the financial vetting of some of the major IT initiatives which the Indian Railways have undertaken. And she has played a key role in driving transformative systems like TAMS, MERS, PCS. Her work has strengthened revenue accounting, payment systems, performance-based costing, while her leadership in TAMS implementation has enabled 100% online balance sheet generation of freight operations and almost near complete adoption across passenger segments also. So her contributions reflect a clear commitment to efficiency, transparency, and of course, modernization of the public finance. So her professional journey has been very has it's very should I say intimidating. Journey has been enriched by diverse national and international learning experiences. She has completed the IGOT Foundation course on development policy at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, uh, and she has been the prestigious Chevening Gurukul Leadership Program. She has been a Chevening scholar from London School of Economics. She has undertaken a study visit to NATO in Brussels, the European Commission in Brussels, the Scottish Parliament in Edinburgh, the WTO in Geneva, the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development in London, uh, to name a few. And these experiences have not only broadened her perspective on governance, international policy, financial systems, sustainability, as well as institutional reforms. So, throughout her career, she had several important assignments in the internal auditing of traffic policy research, catering finance, divisional finance, railway IT systems, and she has consistently introduced process improvements and digital solutions wherever she has been. So she is widely recognized for pioneering applications such as Rail Madad, e-inspection, e-audit, Rail Karmi, which has enhanced the service delivery of Indian Railways and governance in particular in Indian Railways. So her achievements have earned her several honors also, including the Silver Medal at National Award for E-Governance and Railway Minister's Award as well. So coming to the topic that we are going to today deliberate upon, the Traffic Accounts Management System is basically a digital platform for managing the traffic revenue accounting of Indian Railways. It basically converges the data from various platforms to support online apportionment, balance sheet preparation, error reconciliation, and also provides to the decision makers the real time access to the station and zonal level information and data. So, in nutshell, it actually introduces transparency into the system, which also brings financial discipline and ultimately leading to data driven decision making. So please join with me in warmly welcome again Ms. Rohita Mishra, whose experience and insights will undoubtedly uh, deepen your understanding about TAMS and the future of traffic accounting in the railways. Rohita Mishra, these floor, the stage is now open to you. Thank you.
So to start with, thanks a lot for your kind words. And of course, I've had a very diverse experience as far as education is concerned, working is concerned. And now God has been kind enough that just when the digitization in railways required leveling up our game, I have been fortunate enough to be posted here. So to keep to the topic, and the way I plan to present it is I'll give a presentation, I'll share my screen. So in that, firstly, I'll give you a brief overview of TAMS. And since most of the officers, in fact, all of the officers here are from the traffic department, I have kept the perspective from traffic department as to why we should look into an accounting management system, which is to be done, generally it is considered to be done by accounts officers. So I've kept the perspective of traffic officers, that why and what modules are important for you to know. So a brief overview of TAMS. And within TAMS, recently, I think last September or August, we started developing exception reports, because by then we had generated enough data, we had completed our modules. So we had prepared specific exception reports for commercial department, keeping in mind commercial department. So then in detail, I will deliberate over those reports as to how they are relevant to you, how to access to them, what you can make out from those exception reports. Then my colleague, Shri Nitin, he is here with me. He is the one who's developed the software. So he is the technical expert, I'm the domain expert. Then he'll log in from his account, and he will take you step by step to see as to where to log in, which module to go for. So within 15-20 minutes, he'll just give you all the real-time login of that. And after that, we can have a question and answer round. So I hope that's fine. So I'll start with TAMS first. So to put it in a bigger perspective is that it is generally considered the responsibility of accounts officer to protect the revenue. But the first thing and the mindset that we are trying to bring in through these multiple webinars, MOBD sir had directed me to personally visit all zonal railways, meet the concerned PCCMs and the senior DCMs. And the mind shift that we want to introduce, and which has to be in all of you, is that the revenue is generated and protected in the divisions itself, and more specifically at the stations which are under your control. And this is precisely where the challenge has been. Of course, accounts office is there in the background. We are there to help, assist, audit, but the main revenue generation and protection happens in the division at the station level itself. So for years, Chris has been providing the services of voice, UTS, PRS, PMS. So these services were always available, but what we lacked was a unified layer in between that could collate all the earnings which are done at the station, and then use this earning and this data that is generated to actually help you to see that whether the revenue which has been generated with a lot of effort from your side, whether it is timely deposited into banks, whether it is accounted for properly, and whether it is reconciled. So to address this, TAMS, which is the Traffic Accounts Management System, was conceptualized, and which is not an accounting tool. I would say it is more of a revenue assurance, a revenue reconciliation tool. So TAMS as such is the visible layer through which whatever accounting you are doing at the station, especially senior DCMs and senior DFMs, this is the visible platform where you can see where all voice, PRS, PMS, all the earnings, be it sundry, be it passenger, be it freight, you can visibly see it, control it, and have an early warning system. So the exception reports that I was mentioning earlier, these have been designed because what generally happens in railways and what has been happening in most of the government of India is that we generally have a post audit. But now with real-time information flowing between systems, it becomes more important that rather than doing an audit, you should have an early warning system in place itself. So the need for audit doesn't come. So this TAMS becomes your early warning systems for all the senior DCMs and I'm forgetting the ones who used to look after freight. So for all of you, it becomes an early warning system because it clearly gives you the station wise, monthly wise visibility. It gives you the real time reconciliation. And the system has been now in last 6 months, it has been again redesigned in a way so as to raise a red flag as to where the problem is. So our effort today is to help you go and see into the system as to where you can as officers, because even I understand I was posted at Senior DFM Delhi, that for you people, stations, going to station inspection, everything is considered very important. But parallelly, we have file work, we have office work. So rather than going to the stations, and of course, that has its own importance, we just want a daily monitoring tool where you can sit in your office and you can monitor your earnings easily. So we have tried to resolve the problem for you, but the responsibility of actually going to the root cause and taking the responsibility, fixing the responsibility is at your level. So then I think I'll start with my presentation. So objectives of TAMS, as I was earlier in my opening note only, I've made it clear. And this objectives of TAMS, again, we've made the entire presentation for the requirement of senior DCMs. So if in case senior DFMs have joined, we have a separate presentations for senior DFMs accounts officer because TAMS traffic earnings is a responsibility at divisional level, both for senior DFMs and senior DCMs. So for senior DCMs, I would say that the objectives of TAM for which it was created was actually to prevent the revenue leakage. It is an automated reconciliation and an exception detection tool. So this helps you to improve your productivity, your turnaround time for financial reporting, your time to question or an early warning sign or a red flag, as I was telling you. So this just gives you a link of TAMS is if I'll say TAMS is the middleware or the nodal, if I take TAMS as the nodal accounting management system, traffic accounts management system, it is integrated at the back end with the applications of UTS, the unreserved ticketing system. It is linked to PRS. It is linked to route-wise, this RBS system that we have. It is linked to FOIS. It is linked to iPass, and it is linked to PMS. So whatever data that we are showing you on TAMS is actually exchanged on real-time basis with the source applications, which are with the commercial department itself. So why TAMS is important for senior DCMs? Because they are responsible for divisional revenue oversight. It provides a station-wise and month-wise visibility for you to see. So every station, big or small, under your jurisdiction is visible while you are sitting in office itself. It, of course, helps you to make decision making because you can see the earnings of stations on real-time basis from all the various sources. So from freight, coaching, and PMS, you can see the earnings and decide for yourself where you need to improve. Then, of course, it is for audit reconciliation. We have provided MIS reports also, which my colleague will just show to you, and the exception report in TAMS, which we'll be discussing primarily towards the end. They are there in identifying the problematic stations and how to take corrective actions regarding the same. So from the divisional perspective, for the key TAMS modules, I would say that are there for your access are the station balance sheet, the ECR note monitoring, the error sheet module, the traffic books module, AOB, accounts office balance sheet for super app, passenger earnings apportionment, and exception reports modules. So these are the modules which are available on TAMS, and these can be of value to both senior DCMs and of course senior DFMs and Deputy FA traffic. Their entire office works on these modules only. So the flowchart, the normal flowchart, which is for accountant of earnings for finance officers, is that, as you will see, this is the scope. At the station, once the earnings, the revenue is received, a copy, the hard copy of it goes into the hard copy or the vouchers or the ECR notes, we would say the CR notes, they go to the traffic accounts office. The CR notes then go to the cash office. Through cash office, iPass has a cash register in the cash and pay module. So the cash gets accounted at this layer where iPass maintains the cash, and subsequent to this cash office, the supporting vouchers. If you've submitted 100 rupees in cash office, the supporting vouchers of this 100 rupees go to the traffic accounts office, where the balance sheet section for internal check is generated. They check the registers, and then subsequently traffic book part ABCD, which is more relevant to accounts office, Deputy Traffic, they are generated then. So this is just to explain to you that at the station, the money deposited through CR notes and vouchers, and the subsequent the hard copy that are generated, they go to the traffic accounts. So this, to start with, for the traffic account status to both, as I was saying, to voice for the goods earning and for the coaching earning. So for the goods balance sheet, what happens is that the voice system, the application of voice, they generate a station-wise good balance sheet, which is then sent to TAMS in the goods balance sheet auditing module that we have. From here, once traffic accounts office, the three layers that they have, the AA, the JA, the SO, once they have audited, so they match whatever cash is sent, whatever cash is generated, that is matched through iPass, and whatever vouchers they get from the station itself, they are matched with each other and are close. And once the balance sheet is audited, it is sent back to the voice system. So any mismatch that is found, that if in case voice says that we have earned maybe 1,000 rupees and deposited in iPass through the cash register, however, the vouchers supporting are only for 900 rupees. So the difference of 100 rupees is then highlighted through the error sheet module. So this error sheet is then raised against that specific station that you have remitted less amount. And then subsequently, the error sheets have to be settled timely so as to see if it was a genuine mistake. They arrange for the vouchers. It was because of the mistake of any staff, then the same as the error sheet is raised and the same is deducted from the salary of the staff. But error sheet becomes important because then, as an officer at the divisional level, you people come to know that how much money has actually been deposited into banks and what supporting vouchers have been sent to traffic accounts. This is just a screenshot of how the goods balance sheet auditing module looks like in TAMS. So we have created all these heads of good local, demurrage, local warfare, storage, other goods, sundries, outward. These have been in consultation with the nodal railways. So how CRIS works is that once it has been decided to prepare an application, Railway Board nominates 2 or 3 nodal railways to help CRIS prepare the software. So nodal railways are the ones which actually guide us on the requirement that is needed, what data will flow into TAMS, what forms should be created, how the balance sheet should look like, what heads should be there. So for TAMS, we have Central Railway and Western Railway as our nodal railways. So it is with there, and this, what happens is then it becomes a to and fro. So in case Central Railway is guiding us on how the balance sheet should look like, and we put up a balance sheet. But in case any other railway, be it ECR, be it NR, if they have any issue with the balance sheet that no, we need more heads, or this head is not clear, and why this head, and what should be posted in this head, then instead of contacting Railway Board, they write to CRIS or to the nodal railways directly, and then subsequently we change the software. So nodal railways are mainly the spokesperson for the software prepare. So these heads that you see over here, they have been made in consultation with the nodal railways, and we have been repetitively working on them, that in case divisions require any more heads and they think that maybe some of the heads are redundant, please feel free to write to us, and we, in consultation with Nodal Railways, then make the required changes in the application. This is not only for heads, but throughout TAMS, throughout the presentation, if you feel anything more is required, if you have any suggestions, or if you have any requirement from your day-to-day working, that maybe if I get this module, it will be more helpful. Maybe if I get this exception report, then towards the end, we will share our email IDs and numbers. Please feel free to reach out to us, and you'll help us to change the system. So as that one was for the goods balance sheet, this one is for the coaching balance sheet. So whatever coaching earnings you have from PRS and from PMS and from the unreserved ticketing system, the entire data flows into TAMS, and it is in TAMS that the station-wise coaching balance sheet is prepared. So again, once it is prepared, station-wise coaching balance sheet is prepared, the balance sheet module of traffic accounts, they audit same sequence of events as it is in FOIS. They see that how much amount is the station saying that they have remitted into banks. They check from IPAS. Then they see the supporting documents that has the station deposited those required documents with traffic accounts officer, with traffic accounts office. If they match, well and good, the balance sheet is frozen and it is sent forward for onward submission. For the amounts which stay as mismatched, an error sheet is raised in the coaching error sheet module. These modules are also for goods, the coaching sheet, for the goods error sheet module. That for that FOIS application, the users have to go into the FOIS application, and for the coaching error sheet, they have to come to the TAMS module. But that I think would be of not much relevance, because you are at the other end, you have to reply to the error sheet. So it is more relevant for the traffic accounts officers to know. This is again a brief screenshot of what coaching balance sheet, what all heads it has. So at any point of time, if you are sitting and you just want to, you can click on a station, you can go to their balance sheet, you can click on, even in passengers, since this is a screenshot, if individually you go into these heads, they're again subdivided into various heads. So you can anytime see that how much revenue are you generating in the passenger local for this month, for this particular station, or how much sundries you've had for this station. So all this information is available in the balance sheet segment itself. ECR notes, as we'll be detailing later, ECR and ETR have been another landmark achievement by railways. So that earlier, whatever used to happen in manual form, that a person from the Rail Shakti contract is what we have at stations, a person will actually collect 3 physical copies, then they would get it, they would go to the bank, they would get it stamped over there, bank will keep one, will send back 2 copies, 1 copy station will keep, 1 copy they will send to traffic accounts office. So all this used to not only be time consuming, it was also susceptible to fraud, because at any point of time, anybody could change any figures in the manual copies. 2 people at any end, be it the station or the Rail Shakti or the bank, 2 people could connive at any time and change the figures, and the entire system, and it got very difficult to monitor unless there was a fraud somewhere. Then quickly there will be a sample check, all of us will get busy, traffic accounts भी busy हो जाते हैं, senior DCMs भी busy हो जाते हैं. They do a sample test check of few stations and they confirm to railway board कि नहीं हमारे यहाँ ऐसा नहीं हो रहा. So to solve that problem, all this system has now been made online. So whatever station earnings are generated at the station, they are transferred electronically through ESB, is our the electronic bus service that Chris has within it. They are transferred from the station directly to the bank. So the bank at any time has an idea that how much cash, how many vouchers, how many DDs have been generated at a station, and then they, from the bank, they reconfirm back to the stations. Once the cash, vouchers and DD is received, then they reconfirm it back to the system that yes, we have received such and such amount of cash, DDs and transfers. So this electronic service has greatly enhanced the real-time visibility. It has enhanced the reconciliation also, and it has enhanced the transparency, and hopefully it will avoid any leakages or any malpractices done by any of the staff involved in the earlier process of manual transfer of ETRs. So this is just a sample of the coaching ECR notes. This is for CR note details. Station में लिखा ना हमने कौन सा station है. When we'll go to the real, my colleague, when he'll show you through the actual TAMs, when he'll log into the actual TAMs, at that time he can show you individually station wise that how you can go and see if any difference is there and how to flag it out. This error sheet, as I was telling earlier, error sheet is the mechanism through which traffic accounts tells the station concerned कि जो भी आपने पैसा remit करा है उसके subsequent you have not submitted the required vouchers. Either there is the short deposit or the deposit is more. So for that information, again, as we were saying, that going individually into every station and checking for senior DCMs to see or for DCMs, ACMs to see कि कौन से station पे कौन सी error sheet pending है, it just gets time consuming. So we have provided for this dashboard because this just makes it accessible for everybody to see at any point of time कि कितनी error sheets generated है कौन से station पे कौन से month के लिए. So this again gives you a warning signal that if a station is repetitively faulting in the reconciliation mechanism, then either the staff or the system needs to be corrected. AOB module is of relevance to Traffic Accounts Office, but just to slightly introduce it to you, the AOB module is the one which is the Accounts Office balance sheet. So as you'll see over here, vouchers, one is the cash which is collected at the stations. The second is the vouchers that are collected at the stations. Billable vouchers, to put it simply, are the ones which can be billed to any other ministry. So outside railways, any other ministry to whom you'll raise a bill and not directly take cash, they are called as the billable vouchers. So all the army, the defense, the postal, anybody, any other ministry for whom you're working as a travel partner, from them we raise the billable vouchers. Non-billable vouchers is generally what exchange happens within railways. So if you are sending sleepers to any other railway, you charge them for that. So all that happens to non-billable because within railways, we don't raise bill to each other. So this becomes the AOB module, and in this we get the data from PRS, UTS, goods, parcel, postal. All this data comes into AOB module. Within AOB module, again, this is reconciled with IPAS, internal checks are done. And once these internal checks are done, a JV is generated and subsequently then IPAS takes over. This is how the billable AOB module billable vouchers are seen to you. This becomes more relevant for senior DCMs when, because my experience from division was कि जब January, February, March में आता था कि earnings बढ़ाओ. This used to be one of our go-to points because all these ministries, whenever they are built, we generally get revenue in bulk. So the module and this the summary that we give in TAMs, this becomes helpful for you to see कि if any point of time any voucher is pending against BSF, Navy, police. So you can go check the voucher कि अगर उन्होंने अभी तक उनको bill नहीं किया है, then you can chase up with that ministry and get your due revenue. So that is the relevance. Besides, of course, good accounting and revenue generation, this is the relevance that you can get bulk revenue at any point of time. Another significant work which has happened for Indian Railways in last 1 year is the introduction of Super App. So with Super App, you know that it has become the front face for all the ticket booking either through PRS or through UTS and any other service which is included. So when Super App was introduced, Railway Board had taken a decision that for Super App, a separate balance sheet and a separate earning, the entire process of reconciliation and collection and distribution, everything has been done separately. So in last 1 year, we have worked, my team has worked tremendously over the Super App accounting of earnings, and successfully from last April to this March, we could successfully close, reconcile and match all the revenue that was generated through Super App. So in the Super App also we have this super app, all the balance sheets and everything is the entire accountant has been entrusted with Northern Railway. So earlier, for the other earnings, what happens is that the individual zonal railways can go and they can see their station balance sheet. But for Northern Railway, but for Super App, what has been done is that Northern Railway in itself is the only station. So Northern Railway is the station for Super App. So whatever balance sheet that is being prepared is only accessible to Northern Railway. And then once they collect for the entire Indian Railways, originating collection matrix has been prepared by Chris TAMS. And for all the earnings which are received for various other zonal railways, they go through this originating collecting matrix and then they get their due shares. This again becomes relevant for zonal railways because since this was the first cycle and after consulting many PFAs and PCCMs, I realized that everybody is under the assumption कि super app में जो earning हो रही होगी उसका accountant हमें आ ही रहा होगा, उसकी earnings हमें आ ही रही होंगी. But this is not the case. Earnings are received in Northern Railways. And from Northern Railways, individual zonal railways towards the end of the month, they have to raise their debit to Northern Railway and get their due earnings. So this just enables you, this piece of information that we are sharing with you is that at any point of time, you should be aware कि आपकी जो earnings super app के through आई है, has accounts office raised the debit, and in case they have not raised the debit, then you can speak to your counterpart in accounts and you can ask them कि or maybe whenever you see your earnings, you can ask accounts कि इसमें super app की earnings included है कि नहीं है, because most of the people are thinking that super app की earnings, like for all other PRS UTS stamps, अपने आप PRS UTS points वो अपने आप आपके zonal में आती है. But super app के लिए ऐसा नहीं है, आपकी सारी earning Northern को जाती है, and then Northern से you have to raise the debit and they are more than happy to give it because उनके भी suspense में होती है, even they don't want to float their suspense account. So this is how the super app balance sheet is visible to Northern Railway only. These are the various heads which have been decided by the zonal railways that need to be included in the super app balance sheet. Now we are preparing the balance sheet for the entire month. It was a mammoth exercise, and for days together, Traffic Accounts Office of Northern Railway, Books and Budget Office of Northern Railways, and TAMS, INCRIS, UTS, POITS, PRS, everybody was sitting non-stop in office to complete this task. So as you know, now till now, what I told you was that traffic accounts, what all account will we do for all the earnings we do. Traffic Accounts Office also has another part. TAMS, the TAMS application also has another portion in which once the earnings are collected, then these earnings are then the passenger earnings and the goods earnings also, they are apportioned into various railways. So for this, we have prepared for the PRS earnings also, for the UTS earnings also, we have matrix in TAMS. So Traffic Accounts Office accesses those metrics, and from that they come to know that how much is their apportioned earnings. This generally happens in the first week of the subsequent month that we run the apportionment matrix, and then we calculate the due share for all the railways. कि किसका कितना share बन रहा है originating के basis पे, किसका कितना share बन रहा है carried के basis पे. All this is done in the subsequent month. So just to briefly tell you that the data that this is for the PRS earnings, this is for the UTS earnings, the apportionment, what happens, how we apportion is that we get the data from the PRS counter, online counter, non-railway head, super app, YTSK. These are then uploaded in TAMS. They are then validated every month. They are segregated, classified, and then they run through the originating collecting matrix, the earning distribution matrix across railway zonals. Once this is run, then the apportionment takes place. Every railway is given their due share of originating earnings, carried earnings. And then finally, every zonal railway is able to have the correct idea of their net earnings for that month. Then through JV, which is run in IPAS, individual railways, again, they exchange apna debit, credit, they settle, and that is how the entire earning accounting is done. This is of relevance to more to Traffic Accounts Office, but since you people might be accessing TAMS, so just So just to have an idea what this module is, TAMS, and we prepare a traffic book part A, which is the station balance sheet. Traffic book part B is prepared once all your earnings are apportioned. Traffic book part B is prepared. Traffic book part C becomes the more like a home railways earning ledger of the home railways, because it adds up traffic book part A, part B, and subsequently traffic book part D is prepared. So even in the traffic book modules, if you have this for Central Railways, we've shown that if you ever access stamps, which you should. So in coaching, this is just the screenshot of what all information is available. So you can get a rough, if at any point of time anybody asks any of your seniors in zonal railways, they ask you that how much is your coaching earning, how much is your location wise summary of how much is the coaching earning for specific location. So all this information is available on TAMS. So you can go to coaching and you can go to the division wise summary, location wise summary. You can go to any outstanding, if any amount is outstanding in your division or your location, you can check all this and you can have an immediate real-time information on the earnings in your division for a specific location also. So now we come to the most important part of the, not exactly the most important part, but a significant part which we have developed in last 8 to 9 months is the exception reports, which I was telling you earlier in my introductory note, that since we have always been used to post audit ki jab ho jayega uske baad koi issue uthega, then we will go, or maybe a TIA will travel to the concerned zone and then concerned location, and then will point out ki udhar ye gadbad ho rahi hai. So this exception report in TAMS is your early warning system. This is mandatory for all the senior DCMs to at least once in a week, senior DCMs or DCMs, they should visit this exception report and individually check. There are 9 exception reports available. What I'm highlighting to you are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5 ones with the 5 reports which are relevant to you, and in which whatever zonal railways we've traveled, we've tried telling PCCMs and senior DCMs also that once in a while put up this position to your PCCMs also, so that even they are aware that what is the ground reality of their zone. So these are the exception reports of relevance. One is the manual TR note generation, then the location-wise difference in remitted amount and displayed amount, location-wise difference in the TR generated date and cash pickup date, location-wise difference in cash pickup date and bank acknowledgement date, and the location-wise outstanding coaching error sheet clearance report, and similarly location-wise outstanding goods error sheet clearance report. As we have kept the names of the exception reports very descriptive, so that at any point of time, even for a new user, even for a first timer who has a question कि मुझे ये तो देखने दो कि मेरे कौन से स्टेशन पे मैं बैंक कब, मतलब जब मेरे यहाँ से रेल शक्ति, when do they pick up the cash and when do they remit it into bank. So every step we have ensured that senior DCMs should know as to how much time and how much amount is being remitted at every step and how much time they are taking. So the first is, as I was telling you earlier, that now manual TR has been ruled out of system, and the Railway Board has been repetitively writing that ETR should be the only mode of transfer of earnings and manual TR has to be done away with. Just a second, please. We understand that many railways have issues of non-rail head, and afternoon में उनके non-rail head बंद हो जाते हैं, but TR is only generated the next day, so they have to prepare a manual TR for that day. So for such exceptions, we have this report in which you can go, and for your individual division, you can check that which all stations are there which are still preparing manual TR. So this in itself, except for specific cases of non-rail head, even for that we have asked Railway Board to specifically make and these non-rail head, either they should be allowed to prepare their ETR the same day. Except for those cases, specifically if any station, any location under your jurisdiction is preparing manual TR, then that in itself is a red flag. at least you should stop and question such location, that with the advantages of the new process, why manual TR is being prepared. Because manual TR, of course, leaves a lot of room and a lot of space for manual intervention into the remittance into bank. So while my colleague will show you the details, I'll just make you run through the exception report, the manual TR information, how it looks like. All this in detail. Nitin will help you navigate. See that location code Delhi, AIMS. I don't know which station is this. AIMS. Acha, AIMS the non-railhead. See, like AIMS is a non-railhead. So if it's showing 31, the day Railway Board allows that non-railhead should prepare the ETR same day, or they allow us to keep the non-railhead out of this, these issues will be taken off. But this DEC, DC to Delhi aanta hai na, Delhi ke aanta hai. See, in this you would see that for Delhi division DEC, it's showing 15 manual TR. So of course, senior DCM should look at this report and pick up the phone or send his person to check as to why manual TR are being prepared at a location which should otherwise be preparing ETR. Preparing ETR is just a simple entry that UTS in their console, they make the entry and the details are sent to the bank without any manual intervention. Similarly, if there is a location-wise difference in remitted amount and ETR displayed amount, which means that on ETR you are showing ETR, you have entered an amount at the station through your system that I am depositing 1,000 rupees with SBI Bank, but the remitted account which is shown is 900. So this report immediately helps you to identify that there are specific stations जो कम या ज़्यादा पैसा remit कर रहे हैं. Chances of less is more possible because anyways ज़्यादा पैसा मतलब it doesn't reflect with the matching vouchers. So this will help you to immediately see that how much earning has been made and displayed on the ETR for that day and how much money is actually being remitted into bank. And with our experience of traveling to zonal railways, we have realized that if you pick up phone and you'll ask, maybe in this Delhi division, you'll see Anand Vihar terminal, ANVT is showing that system and remitted amount, there are 28 such cases with a total difference amount of 7,000. They will have an explanation which is mainly understandable at times. Maybe it is because of the cash and currency. But इसमें हमने reason का column नहीं दिया हुआ ना अभी. Okay, because you are not able to see in this, with the time and traveling over zonal railways, we realized that people wanted a column कि आप हमें एक reason लिखने का column दे दो, so that every time our senior DCM or DCM doesn't have to call us and ask. So we have also provided those columns in case you have a difference which is understandable. अच्छा वो UTS वाले में. So there they can record the reason also as to why this difference is there. Similarly, there is an exception-wise difference in ETR generated, the date and the cash pickup date. This is again a very big red flag, because of which we had come to the Rail Shakti arrangement and then entering into agreements with Rail Shakti कि आप जिस दिन पैसा पिकअप करेंगे स्टेशन से आपको सेम डे उसका ETR जनरेट करवाना है. So this exception report is again of significance to senior DCM because you can see that when the cash is being picked up from your station or your location and when is it actually being, when is the ETR date generated. So if your station master today is, आज क्या date है? 22. So if today he prepares the ETR to 22nd April को मैंने ETR बना दी है because every day he has to mandatorily close the accounts and prepare an ETR. So if for ETR today he prepares की 22nd April को मैंने ETR बना दी है and मेरी आज की earning है maybe 10 lakh rupees, but then you see that the cash is not being picked up for another 5 days is a red flag because where did the money stay for 5 days? Because then the money has not been remitted into bank. If it has not been picked up, it has not been remitted into bank. That itself raises an alarm for both senior DCMs and senior DFMs to question the Rail Shakti, the partners that you have for cash pickup agencies as to why they are not remitting the money into the bank accounts. In this also, instead of pointing out 1 or 2 days, we have also made a specification that number of times late deposited for more than 2 days we have included. We have specifically excluded Saturday, Sunday so that the figure doesn't seem bloated up. Many zonal railways had asked us कि नहीं जो specific bank holidays होती है आप उसको भी exclude कर दो. But that has not been able to happen in TAMS because this is a very zonal problem. Every zone has their own specific local holidays for banks. So that we have asked other applications in UTS that if they can individually go to the site and mark कि ये holidays है. But that is that is just solving a very minuscule problem कि अगर once in a while bank holiday तो हम उसको include करें. So we have not worked upon that, but yes, Saturday, Sundays have been excluded. So if you see any item like this, where 4 times the late deposit was there for more than 2 days, then this is an alarming situation for both senior DCMs. And at this, you can also show this report to your senior DFMs because this also makes it that senior DFMs are supposed to penalize the Rail Shakti agency or the agent that you have if they are not remitting it on time. So even the agency gets penalized. This is also a very big red flag. As I was telling you कि अगर 22nd April को आपके स्टेशन मैनेजर ने 10 lakhs का एक ETR बना दिया है और उसी सेम डे वो पिकअप भी हो गया है. However, it has not been sent to bank and not been acknowledged by bank. That means the agency is keeping the money with itself for some time. So this report is again very significant. On this report, you can again penalize the agency. You can again question the agency as to where the railway earnings are for this period of time. So these were regarding the the flow of money from the earlier exception reports that I've shown you. They were mainly regarding that when your money has been generated on the station, when it has been picked from the station, and when it has been remitted into bank. So it shows you the exact timestamp and the amount. This exception report is, as I was telling you earlier when I was showing you the coaching balance sheet, that the error sheets are generated because there is some difference in the amount that has been shown on the vouchers and the amount which has actually gone to the bank. So this error sheet, once raised, requires to be cleared. And once in a while, senior DCMs and DCMs, they need to visit this module, this exception report, and see for themselves that if any specific location or any specific station is particularly showing high number of error sheets raised and not clear. So this will be an tool in your hand to see the working of the staff at that station, at that location. See, in this, we also give the number of days for which it is pending. So for larger amounts, smaller amounts, you can yourself decide as to whom you want to question at what point of time. So as throughout the presentation, I've been trying to just nail one point that this exception reports that we have provided they help you to identify the problem at the stations and divisions before it becomes a fraud. And this also helps you to assist and prioritize your inspection. So if anytime you just have to decide that I have to go in on an inspection, I think your first instinct should be to check from the inspection reports कि regular defaulter कौन है, let me go and ask them and check on them. Of course, it helps you to monitor the compliance. It helps you many a times there are genuine issues also because when we've traveled to zonal railways, they've genuinely had issues of sending the data through their consoles to the to SBI or to anybody. and they have raised the issue with PCCMs कि हमारे यहाँ network की connectivity इतनी खराब है, हमारे यहाँ thin clients इतने खराब है that we are not able to do this function. So it helps you to improve the system also. And then of course, subsequently you can plan for the corrective actions during the monthly meetings. So all in all, for the overall traffic accountal, the traffic earnings accountal and reconciliation, what assistance we require as accounts, this I'm talking of as an IRAS officer, is that these are the 4-5 general points that we expect senior DCMs at zonal level. We expect CCMs and PCCMs to ensure these few interventions, which is that 100% ETR has been mandated by Railway Board. Please ensure that 100% ETRs are generated for every location. That you can again see through the exception report. And in case they are not being generated, then you need to work out a plan for them to enforce these 100% loan. Freezing of station balance sheet by 4th of next month is a mandate which has been given by Railway Board, but at times we see the stations are not pushing the balance sheet up to maybe 7th of the month, and then a traffic accounts office they itself require to audit these balance sheets. So it is again very important that the station, and especially when it is being auto fetch, most of the time all of the data is being auto pulled. So there is no requirement of anybody to sit down and fill any data. They have to check the data and send it forward. So this in itself is very important for all the divisions. For commercial department की balance sheet एक बारी जब formal होके TO office जाती है, that in itself is an indication that you're confident that there is no fraud, there is no leakage, and therefore you have sent the balance sheet timely for auditing. Of course, improving the data quality at source station is one problem which almost all of us, for all the applications we see. Monthly review of TAM's exception reports, senior DCMs can have it with their DCMs. At zonal railways, deputy CCMs can have with their team. Sensitization and training of station staff, even that is required, and close coordination with accounts department. With this, my last, of course, I thank all of you for being patient listeners. But my last closing remark would be that TAMS is not just a tool for the financial officers or for the railway accounts officers. It is a revenue command control for the senior DCMs at any point of time. So every exception report that is generated, every exception report that you choose to ignore is taken as that you have accepted कि ये default हो रहा है मेरी location पे, and I'll just put my face away or not look into the. So every corrective action after seeing every exception report, every corrective action that you'll take or you've taken already is your attempt to ensure that revenue reconciliation, besides revenue earning, revenue reconciliation and revenue recognition is done at each level. So with this, I'll stop sharing.
I profusely thank the speaker, Ms. Rohita Mishra, for giving exposition to the various modules which are there in the TAMS. In fact, I must honestly admit I didn't knew so much of it is existing in the TAMS, and then the various, I mean, very specifically telling the usefulness for the field staff or field officers as well as the other level, the staff which are available, and to keep a check at it on a literally real time basis. And I also thank Nitin for I mean, very in great detail taking us through the various reports which are available. These are actually very beneficial. I mean, we all know that we create huge amount of data, but we barely are able to take some decision or cull out some meaningful information and decision making this thing from the data that we have. So I'm so glad that TAMS has been in the right direction. I mean, and has done substantial progress into which can be used as a tool for all level of whether it's officers level, staff level, and the senior management level, can be used for very, very meaningful decision making. Thank you so much once again, and thank you all the participants for being associated with this webinar. I hope this has been useful, and may I again reiterate what Ms. Mishra was saying, that please give your suggestions, please start using it, please give your suggestions to the project engineers or Chris for making an improvement, because these IT systems and these digital platforms, they improve based on your feedback only, and therefore the more feedback you give, the more quickly they will stabilize and will be more useful. So thank you so much to each and everyone for joining this webinar, and thank you, Rohita, thank you,
Thank
Nitin.
you to all of you.